It's 2 rounds a day, the first 5 days, and the last day is the finals. This is May 5th. So there should be 3 matches going on because there's 6 teams. And the time control's 25 minute with a 10-second increment. Hopefully, we can pull the games up right away. The games are actually being played on chess.com, so it's possible exactly at 9 o'clock Eastern, the games just all pop up. That's what I'm assuming, but I'm going to find out. And you guys aren't here yet, so you don't care. Let's see. Let me find out. Let's ask everybody. Hey, everyone. And all right. All right. Good morning. So there should be 12 games at 9 a.m. and then the next round is at 10:45, and there'll be 12 more games. The U.S. is playing India in the first round, and so forth, mainly and so forth. Man, my glasses need cleaning. Can't see Vishwanathan. Hopefully Hikaru can see more than Vishwanathan. We can only hope. Yeah. Let's see. Who should I ban? Let's see. Definitely Checkmate should be banned. Always ban. Well, the pairings are known. I just don't know what they are. So we'll find out at 9, but the players all know who they're playing. That's right. Everybody starts at the same time, which is in 4 minutes. And hopefully the games just pop up on chess.com because I think they're playing on chess.com. So that would be helpful if that was the case. Let's see. Username. Hikaru's online. Faruja's online. Nipo's online. Fabiano's online. Levon's online. All right. Eric Hansen's online. Why is Eric Hansen online? MVL is online. All right. So all the players who were playing in the event are online. So I guess when their game starts, they'll just pop up in live chess and I'll click on them, which is what I just asked in Slack. All right. It's 25-minute with a 10-second increment. And they play the first match at 9 a.m. and the second match is played at 10:45 a.m. If my math is correct, not saying it is, there's probably going to be like a 25-minute break between the matches. So, we'll have a train and I'll make fun of all you guys and stuff. Yeah, the U.S. is playing India. I know that. And I don't know the other pairings, but they're known. You just have to go find yourself, I guess. The other teams are Europe, rest of the world, Russia, and China. China's not playing Russia, that's for sure. Because I would have remembered if the rest of the world was playing Europe and if Russia was playing China. And I know India's, and also it's a double round robin, so you play the other nation twice, but they're not playing back to back. They're not playing USA India round 1 and then USA India round 2. They're playing like round 1 and like round 6. So today and every day there's going to be 2 matches between 2 different nations. So even though the US is playing India in round 1 at 9 a.m., at 10:45 they're playing somebody else. And then each nation is playing the other nation twice. So therefore, since there's 2 matches a day and there's 6 nations, therefore there's 10 rounds. It's a double round robin. It's going to take 5 days to do all of that. Then when the 5 days are up, which will be Saturday, will be the 5th day. Then on Sunday, the top 2 are going to play in the finals. They always make it as complicated as possible. I'm pretty sure it's 25-10. Each team is comprised of 3 men and 1 woman, and there's 1 man and 1 woman alternate. And you don't know who you're going to play against until 30 minutes before the round when the lineups are due. So there you go. Complicated. Yeah. They're playing on chess.com. So the other tournament we just finished was on Chess 24, and chess.com got the PGNs, and they put them in live chess, and I could show them. This is actually being played on chess.com, so I assume when the game actually starts, it'll just pop up in live chess, and then I'll just look at it. I actually asked that question about 3 minutes ago, but they're probably busy. Yeah, nobody answered me because they're too busy. All right. Man, the truth hurts. All right. Why would it pop up in live chess? Why wouldn't it? All games that are played are in live chess. They're playing, so yeah. All right. So my math wasn't good when I originally thought I was doing this event. I thought if the first match goes from 9 to 10:45, the second match goes from 10:45 to 11:30. Doesn't make any sense. So probably the day will end at 12:15. Like all the games from 10:45 should end about 12:15. And then at 1 o'clock is Title Tuesday, which I might play in. I'm either going to go home and take a 4-hour nap, or I'll play in Title Tuesday. Haven't decided yet. That starts at 1 o'clock Eastern, about 45 minutes after this ends. There is a Title Tuesday. So I don't know. All right. And it's after 9. So hopefully I can actually see the players online and they're not playing. So, okay, good. I see Hikaru, Ferrugia, Nepo, Fedosev's not in the tournament, I don't think. Fabiano, Levon, probably some of these other players. Vidit Chess is playing, as far as I know. MVL. So there should be 12 games going on every round. 3 matches of 4 teams. So, 4 teams? 3 matches of 4 player teams. Yeah, that's what I meant. Pairings here. All right. They should have already started, but I can see they're not playing. So, pairings revealed. So, at 9 a.m., which is now, India's playing the U.S., China's playing the rest of the world, and Europe is playing Russia. Some of these country names don't make any sense. And then in round 2 today, which starts at 10:45 a.m., Russia plays the U.S., rest of the world plays India, and Europe plays China. Also, there's 2 sisters who are both like 25-50, and they're playing on different teams, even though the marriage, what are the sisters' names? Not marriage, something like that. So there you go. I'm friends with everybody. Rawr. So I'm looking at the players who are playing in the event, and it says online. It doesn't say they're playing. Yeah, so I guess they're not playing yet. Yeah. Now, I'm hoping the games will be easy to find in live chess. I guess on the women's board, hopefully they put that at the top because those players are lower rated. And sometimes I can't find them in the thing there. So anyway, I'll do the best I can, which isn't too good, but I'm trying. You can also watch this on the chess.com official broadcast on Chess, Chess TV and Chess Twitch and all that nonsense. I think it's Danny and Robert, and they have only 3,700 people watching right now. So if they start analyzing the games and I don't have the games, that's not good. So hopefully they don't have the games yet. So if somebody could have a look at the official broadcast with Danny and Robert and tell me if they're actually looking at the games. Well, they're supposed to start 4 minutes ago, but I see the players online, and it doesn't say they're playing. So, no games there yet? Okay. I mean, if they don't have the games, they're not playing. That's the official broadcast. This is a joint venture, not a Spike Lee joint, not a Snoop Dogg joint. This is a joint venture between chess.com and FIDE. Right. Well, Chess24 has nothing to do with this tournament. So this is co-sponsored by chess.com and FIDE. So the official broadcast is here. They're playing here on chess.com. And Chess24 made a snide remark on Twitter this morning saying that they don't have the games. They're not going to have the games because FIDE won't let them or something, which isn't true. But they got to get their digs in. Yeah. That is correct. My commentary when there's no games is very interesting. All right. All right, we should get a train started because there's 280 people and there's no train. Come on. So far, I have 0 subs, 0 bits, and 0 donations. Typical stream. Let me see how many subs I have. 2,100? 2,125. That would be good. Yeah. The Online Nations Cup. That is correct. It is the Online Nations Cup. All right, so I can see the players online like Hikaru, Firouzja, Nepomniachtchi, Fabiano, Levon Aronian, MVL, and none of them are playing. So since they're all playing, I guess I haven't started yet. 999 cent to do. It's 1 cent to do. Yeah. All right. Prices. What nations are online? Yeah, Levon hasn't played since his wife tragically died in a car accident. This is his first, serious chess since that. I guess that was about 6 weeks ago, but frankly, I don't remember. 6-7 weeks ago. Dekastev subscribed. We need one more subscription or 100 cent to do donation to get the train going. All right. Sybil Elephant is playing. I'm not sure who that is. And Nepo's playing. Liam, okay, the games have started. I can see them. So I'm going to click on them. And then I'm going to have to change the scene in a second. So give me a second. Okay. Give me 1 second to change the scene. Okay, I changed the scene. All right. I'll just click on all the games that I know are part of the tournament. I know they're part of the tournament when they're 25-10. That's how I know. The time control's 25-10. Nobody's playing 25-10 unless they're part of the tournament. Nobody's like, hey, let's play 25-10. So, okay. Okay, that's the women's board. This is a women's board. Muzichuk sisters. That's the sisters. I couldn't think of their name because I'm stupid. All right, these are the 25-10 games that are being shown. This is MVL versus Nepo. This is, I guess it's Europe versus Russia. I guess. This is America versus India. Vidit versus Fabi. Now, if I remember correctly, the board order for America was a bit odd. Hikaru 1, Fabiano 2, Dominguez 3, and Wesley was the alternate, which is a strange board order. So I don't think Hikaru would be online at 8:30 in the morning unless he was playing, although I don't see his game. But, I mean, he's probably playing and his game hasn't, And just by looking in live chess, if a game is 25-10, that's being played in the tournament. So these are all the 25-10 games, which indicates half the games haven't started yet. All right, and then this game is China versus the rest of the world. This is India versus the U.S. Okay, so that's Dominguez. So I got Dominguez and Fabiano playing for the U.S. so far. This is Russia versus Europe. This is the rest of the world versus China. This is Europe versus Russia. This is China versus... Who's China playing? Europe? Is China playing Europe? I don't know. Yeah, this is Russia versus whoever Russia's playing. All right, so there should be 12 games. There should be. And I got 9 so far. It's pretty good. All right. I mean, these are all the 25-10 games. I don't have any other 25-10 games. I mean, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm not sure where the other 3 games are. Yeah. Aronian plays for Russia is one of the most incorrect things I've seen. Aronian doesn't play for Russia. Aronian's not Russian. That's like saying I play for Russia. Okay. So unfortunately, I only have 9 games. The games are being played on chess.com. So I don't know. I don't see Anand and I don't see Naka. So I'm guessing it says Hikaru's playing. What's going on here? Let me see if I can observe game. Okay, here's Hikaru's game. I don't see it in live chess, but I don't know why. It says the Vish versus Hikaru. Oh, I guess maybe because Anand doesn't have a chess.com account, they gave him an 1800 rating. So this game maybe isn't at the top of the list, so I can't find it. So I'm guessing the people who they made fake accounts for that don't have chess.com 2700 ratings, it's going to be hard finding their games. All right, so anyway, in the USA versus India match, board 1 is Anand and Hikaru, which is this game. Board 2 is Fabiano Vidit, which is this game. And board 3 is Hari Krishna versus Dominguez. And then I don't have the women's board. Irina Krush is the woman who's supposed to play. And if she can't play, Zatonsky does. And I'm not sure who the female is for India. That's one of the games I'm missing. So there's 12 games going on now, and I have 10 up. Yeah. Right. Well, the ratings aren't they're FIDE ratings. Those are just online chess.com ratings. And I don't think Anand has played. Yeah. All right. So we'll just talk about the games individually, and then we'll see what happens. So this is MVL is white against Nepomniachtchi. Nepo plays for Russia, obviously, and MVL is playing either for Europe or the rest of the world. I'm not sure which one. Who is? Let me see who Russia's playing. It's confusing because several people can play for more than one nation based on what they're saying. Okay, so this is Russia versus Europe. This is board 1. Europe has white. And it's, I wouldn't know who has the white pieces here. MVL plays the Najdorf also. The time control is 25-minute with a 10-second increment. Bishop d3 is very unusual. Now it's a Dragendorf or a Dragdorf, confusing the audience. All right, looks like the players are out of prep now. And then this is the USA versus India. This is board 2. Board 1 is Nakamura and Anand. Fabiano's white against Vidit. I've never seen them move bishop a4 in my life. I guess the idea is instead of taking the knight, which is a common move, white is preventing knight d4. So if white castles, then black could play knight d4. Now if black plays knight d4, he just loses a pawn. So I guess that's the point of this move. I've never seen that move. Okay. Not super exciting. It's sort of like an Italian game, which you would see from this position, except white's lost to tempo because white played bishop here, instead of bishop here. And I don't see why the bishop is better here than here. So it seems like... I guess if white plays bishop b3 in this kind of position, it's going to transpose. So this doesn't seem a lot different than an Italian game. Yeah, except the bishop would be on b3 instead of on a4. If the bishop goes to c2, it's the same thing. So I would say Vidit has equalized. I don't think this move is super exciting. Okay, and this is India versus the rest of the world. I mean, China versus the rest of the world. And I think Yu Yangyi is the alternate, which means China sat one of their players. He's the guy who plays if somebody doesn't play. It's a normal King's Indian. Bassem Amin got married about 2 years ago, and he's also a medical doctor and 2,700 FIDE. Pretty accomplished. All right, this is one of the main lines of the King's Indian. Normally, white doesn't want to trade queens here. White moves his queen and starts advancing on the queen's side. So this is a little bit unusual. This is board 3 of America versus India. So America played their top 3 and they sat Wesley So. And we have a Berlin, obviously. White could play d4 if he wants to trade queens. Going to the main line. This is another main line. Usually this leads to a pretty boring position. Okay, so white sacrificed a pawn, making it a lot less boring. So there you go. Although the engine still says it's equal. Obviously, white has excellent compensation for a pawn with great pieces and terrible pieces. And black had to play f6, which nobody's putting in the chat. Ridiculous. Nobody put never play f6. Terrible. Ridiculous. All right. Good chat, good chat. What is the Nations Cup? It's this tournament. All right, and this is Russia versus, I think, Europe. It's very confusing because a lot of these people could play for more than one team based on the name of the teams. I mean, rest of the world, Europe and Russia could be, one person could play all 3 teams. Very confusing. So I don't know who's playing on what team yet. I'll get the hang of it by round 2. The Omega Point subscribe. Good, good. So this is Duda versus Andreikin. Interesting. Sicilian. Again, the time control is 25-minute with a 10-second increment. This is round 1, day 1, and round 2 starts in about an hour and a half. All right, we got a double Fianchetto, Hedgehog, Sicilian, Khan. Slightly better for white. Just slightly, just slightly. Firouzja's playing a big fan favorite against Wei Yi, confusing the audience. This is China versus the rest of the world. Firouzja plays for the rest of the world. Doesn't even have a country. Yeah. All right, so we have a semi-Slav. Yeah, this is the line that MVL won very convincingly against Geary in the Magnus Carlsen Invitational, presented by Magnus Carlsen, won by Magnus Carlsen. Except Firouzja's playing better than Geary. Shocking. Thanks for the sub. That is correct, trying to learn. Good joke, good joke. One of his standard jokes. Standard. All right, and white is clearly slightly better, but only slightly, just slightly. Aronian, who hasn't played chess since his wife tragically passed away in a car accident about 6 weeks ago, I guess. He's playing for Europe, I think, and he's playing Russia. That's right. So this is Russia versus Europe. Artemayev plays for Russia. You can ignore the ratings. Always ignore the ratings. Bishop d2. Okay, don't ignore the rating. 2,400, that's about right. All right. That's funny. This reminds me of the MVL Firouzja game from the Magnus Carlsen Invitational. Okay, now it doesn't. Now with e4. E4 playing for an advantage, confusing Geary. All right. And this is very, very, very slightly better for white. Although you can notice Aronian's playing faster than Artemayev. Yay, why so serious is raiding? I raid you, you raid me. Thanks, why so serious for that big party. All right, good singing. Thanks for the raid. That's the best raid we've had today. Why so serious? You got to be serious. It's a very important chess. We have a lot of hedgehog kind of positions today. Okay, and this is the women's board between China and I guess the rest of the world. The Muzichuk sisters are both playing, but they're playing for different teams. Hopefully Trying to Learn sends me a text now. Okay, so Yifan doesn't play a lot of chess now. She's playing black and a Sicilian. It's the most boring of positions. Good, good. All right, the engine says white's slightly better. Slightly, just slightly. But yeah, with this kind of pawn structure, pretty equal. This actually reminds me of Hikaru's game with Nippo, where Hikaru had a big advantage and he threw it all away with the better bishop and access to d5, and Nepomniachtchi didn't have access to d4. This is a better version for black than that game. Yifan's behind me somewhere. She's one of those pictures. Nobody knows which one. That's for sure. Anna is Europe. Maria's rest of the world. Very suspicious. All right. A text now. Very good. All right. And then this is the other Muzichuk sister. This is a Slav. Okay. Queen c2. Very common. Yeah, we saw this position in Ding versus Carlsen, I believe. Except Carlsen didn't play Queen e7. Yeah, they were playing like a4, a5, that kind of stuff. And I think he played Bishop d3, Queen e2 later. The queen wasn't on c2. This is a more common kind of thing. All right, very theoretical. Put it in f. f5 and c5, a Kaidanov special. Kaidanov was doing this before your grandchildren were born. Okay, then d5, trying to punish f5. And the engine says it's good. Good for white. Okay, so the engine likes white. And then we have Haruki versus the Vish. Anand's white against Nakamura. Nakamura played the line that he likes to play, where white's playing c5. And Magnus played Bishop e2 in the tournament, in the finals. And a3 was played by somebody against Nakamura in the tournament also. Yeah, they actually got this variation, I think. This is the variation they played. This is one of the main lines. It's considered pretty equal. Pretty equal. All right, Anand going for the slightest of advantages. Not only is he going for a slight advantage on the board, he has a slight advantage on the clock. Very slight. Slight. You can ignore the ratings. Okay, so we have 10 games being shown so far, and there's 12. And I think the reason is with the fake ratings that they have for some of the players, they're not at the top here. So let me try to find the other games. Now this says Wesley So is playing. That would mean Wesley's just playing for fun. Because Karu's playing, Fabi's playing, Dominguez is playing. So Wesley So's on chess.com playing, but just for fun. All right. Okay. I guess. That's I'm surprised he's not watching the games that he's playing for fun. That's okay. All right. Let's see. Do I see Polish fighter? Did I already look at him? Yeah, I got him. I mean, I can't find the other games because the people are too low rated. That's unfortunate. Let's watch Wesley. Well, he's not playing in the tournament. Right. Well, I did go to events tab in live and see all the rapid games on top, but they don't have all the rapid games on top. For example, Hikaru's game's not there because They have Anand's rating as 1800. So sort by rapid. You can sort by rapid? Oh, I didn't even know that. Thank you. I did sort by rapid. Ooh, that actually worked out a lot better. Thank you. Yeah, I can see why Anand Hikaru, it's okay. Then they have Rajabov is definitely playing in the tournament. I didn't know you could sort by rapid. That worked out really well. Okay, Rajabov. Now, here they made an error because this is a chess.com error. They have the chess.com names in the name of the game. Then when you click on the name, it gives you the real players' names, except this game, where they didn't give White the real player name. So it's Rajabov is board 1. This is board 1 for China. So it could be Ding Liren unless Ding Liren is sitting, that it's not Ding Liren. So let me find out who this is. Let's see. That's Wang Hao. Okay. So Ding Liren isn't playing this round. He's on the team. He's just not playing. Okay. So this is Wang Hao, but they forgot to put his name there. So, okay. So this is Wang Hao versus Rajabov. I didn't know you could sort by rapid. Thanks for that information. All right. Still theory. Still theory. Bishop a6. Good, good. Man, White played queen here, queen here, queen here, queen here. Good, good. That's the way I play chess. Everybody Wang Hao tonight. Thanks for the sub. All right. Rajabov was very insistent on trading. So they're like, all right. Man, it's hard to win when all the pieces are traded off. God damn. Okay. So White's slightly better. Isolated pawn, double pawns, better center. But they traded everything. On the other hand, White has 10 extra minutes. God damn. Also, Rajabov's only 2,200. Man, terrible. Horrible. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm only missing one game. And I should be able to find it in seconds. And here it is. I found it in seconds. Okay, this is America versus India. Irina Krush is sitting, and so Koneru's playing Zatonsky. I have all 12 games up. Crazy. Okay, Zatonsky's playing the 4-Knight Scotch. Okay, now it's just a regular, that variation of the Scotch. Bishop d2 I'm not familiar with. I've seen this position a million trillion times, and they take on d5. This move I don't know. I'm sure it's the main line. I just don't know it. All right. I've seen this line forever. I've never seen this position. But the players are playing pretty quickly, so they know more than I do. Yeah, the engine is not impressed with White's play. This looks like Black has a nice center. White has a stupid knight. E5 is stopped temporarily. On the other hand, I am pinning you, and these pawns are doubled and isolated. So White has to play b3 and remaneuver the knight here. Then eventually White's okay. All right, so I do have all 12 games up. There's 6 teams. Each team is playing with 4 players at once. So there's 3 matches of 4 boards. Therefore, there's 12 games. There's 10 rounds of this. 10? Yeah, there's 10. So there's 6 teams, which means there should be 5 rounds, but it's a double round robin. So the 10 rounds take place over 5 days, 2 rounds a day. Then at the end of the 10 rounds, when everybody's played everybody twice, they take the top 2 teams and they play on Sunday in the finals, confusing the audience. Normally in a team tournament, there's gold, silver, and bronze, but I guess there's no bronze. And there's about $180,000 in prize money, plus tax. And most of the top players in the world are playing, with the exception of Magnus. I guess Magnus could have played for Europe or he could have played for rest of the world, but he was very busy, very busy. He played 5 hours of 1-minute chess last night against Naroditsky on Lee Chess, and he beat him like 130 to 65. They played about 200 games of 1 minute. So you can't expect him to play for $180,000 in prizes when he's playing 1 minute with Naroditsky on Lichess. Priorities. Okay. The truth hurts. Danya won about 2/3 to 1/3. That's correct. Yeah, that is exactly what happened. Okay, let's go back to the top. MVL versus Nepomniachtchi, and a very unusual drag or Dragendorf. So this actually reminds me of the Nimzo Indian, where the bishop is pinning the knight, and the knight moves away, and we try to trap the bishop on b4. That happens sometimes. Here, 'tis other way round English. He plays knight d4, trying to trap this bishop. The bishop can't take the knight. So the engine plays bishop d7. Makes sense. But Nepomniachtchi plays more aggressively, and MVL plays more aggressively. f5 says, I'm going to win your bishop. And the engine doesn't like this move. It says that move isn't good. It prefers the positional method, b4, fixing the black pawns. And now, after f5, sorry about the misclick, you can play d5 or e5, counterattacking in the center. The engine says, good. Now, even though MVL is French, he's not so sure about the en passant rule, so he retreated. He wants to play knight b4 and control d5, obviously. Black played d5. This is the 1-2 punch in the Sicilian. e5 and d5. And bishop g5 was played. A big fight for d5. d4. And now, if you want to win this bishop, you have to play knight b1. But knight b1 is pretty stupid. So instead he played knight e2. And the engine likes black. Black has a nice center. This knight's pretty stupid. Black has the two bishops. And the engine prefers black. Slightly, just slightly. And this is all zeros. They busted up the center. Vidit and Fabi. After d5, this is the last position we saw. Fabi took. And of course he could take this pawn, but that always loses in this opening. Whenever this pawn is hanging in the Italian and the Ruy Lopez, there's always like bishop takes f2 check, and then there's queen f6 at the end. Although here, the engine says this move is fine. It says knight takes is fine. It doesn't lose. White just doesn't have to lose his rook. So instead he played knight g3, rook e8, defending the pawn, put it in h, always retreat. Both players always retreat. Bishop d2, the most passive of moves. And after black equalized with d5, white equalized with d4, and we have the most equal of positions. Almost symmetrical. Almost. Close. Pretty symmetrical. Look at this. Everything's the same except these two and these two, right? Otherwise, the position is the exact same. Yeah. The position is the exact same except where the rook's in the... However, Fabiano has 23 minutes and Vidit has 8 minutes. God damn. You guys were complaining, because you like to complain, that we didn't have the clocks in the Carlson Invitational. Well, they're playing on chess.com, so these are the clocks. These clocks are accurate, because these are the clocks. This is where they're playing. We're watching them play on the server. Now, I don't want to complain about the terrible chat, so I'm not going to complain about your terrible chat. However, I am going to complain about your terrible donations. Nobody's subbing, nobody's cheering, no donations. Come on. There's like 1 million of you. All you have to do is give $1 million. That's all you have to do. If 1 million of you do that, you can spend the rest of the day calculating 1 million times 1 million while I laugh all the way to the bank. Did you ever see a guy walk into the bank laughing all the way there? You wouldn't even know I was laughing because I would have like a mask on. And then I would rob the bank. I have a mask on, so I should rob the bank. I have a mask on, right? Come on. Yeah. That's why in Michigan, where I'm from originally, all the banks have bulletproof glass. Everybody's always wearing a mask in Michigan because they're either a criminal or it's really cold in Michigan. So you really got to cover up. So, Jawsome0013. Good, good. If you don't believe the stories about Michigan, robbing you and covering up, go to the internet and look up Devil's Night. God damn. That's right. You're goddamn right. That's Detroit. That's where it was invented. That's where we burn your house down the day before Halloween. Anybody from Michigan will back me up. Go Detroit, where I'm from. Sounds like a Detroit library. That's right. A flat basketball subscribe. Good, good. Homeless watching Ben. Good, good. All right. Juggalo I only get from watching Sunny. Okay, so King F1, another train. That is correct. Trying to learn says you don't need 2 lungs and 2 kidneys. So, you could, you know what to do. All right, continuing the gift sub. Doesn't H3G4 win the bishop? What are you, like 10 games behind? What's this guy talking about? H3G4? Oh, you're talking about in a game we looked at like an hour ago. Well, maybe. Yeah. Camberry? Sonny Camberry? All right. Knight E5. Queen E2. Rook E8. Knife F5. God damn. Fabi with the knife F5. I must admit, I've never seen Fabi move instantly every game and his opponent never move. Fabi's up 60 minutes on the clock in a 25-minute game? What? Ridiculous. Why not Queen E3 for Fabi with the knight here? Well, that's a good answer. Okay, always play Queen F8. All right, so Fabi's taken over by playing knife F5. Good, good. The engine says it's equal, but there's a knight on F5. So, yeah. All right, Queen H5. So White's tickling him a little. And the most important thing in this game, which I normally wouldn't say, that's for you guys to say, is this time here and that time there. God damn. If I was playing Fabiano, I wouldn't want to be down 16 minutes on the clock because he plays pretty well. So the engine says equal, but Black is obviously struggling with the queen on F8, knife F5 in the time situation. America. Okay, big advantage somehow. I was saying this was the most equal of endgames, and somehow it's a big advantage to White now. Thanks for the $9.99. Thanks for the 100. Thanks for the gift subs. All right, C5, bishop C4. Good, good. Knight A6. So White has a nice advantage here. This is a very good bishop. We can mess up the pawns now. This knight can come around the mountain when she comes. This bishop is terrible, frankly. And White has a little bit more time. So slightly better for White, just slightly. All right, we have some incredible tactics in this game. This was the game where White sacrificed a pawn. Hari Krishna did. King H8, F4. Now White sacrificed 2 pawns. But the activity, this bishop's made so many moves that you're confused. Even I'm confused. This bishop's made like 5 moves, whereas White's moving everything. Morphy would be proud of Hari Krishna's play. Okay, C6, giving one of the pawns back to ease the position, but 2 bishops, what else? Never play F6. King is on H8. Everything on the back rank. Very suspicious. All right, he gets both of his pawns back, but at what price? At the price of a pin and the 2 bishops. Queen B1, tripling up on the bubble up. Now bishop takes A7 is a threat. Knight D5, confusing the audience. The only good move. I know I'm confused. Wow, this is based on an amazing tactic. If bishop takes knight, we trade rooks and we play Queen A5, threatening the bishop and threatening mate. Jesus. The engine says it's equal after here. Wow. If you play bishop takes A7, knight C3, the knight attacks the queen, and the queen can't stay on the bishop. So somehow, this move, and this move, which are the captures, They're all equal according to the engine, all zeros. That's an amazing tactic. God damn. Dominguez isn't as bad as he plays. Man. Naka is playing, but he's playing somebody you don't care about. Vishy Anand. Oh, wait a minute. You do care about that. Okay, this is Andreikin and Duda. They played a double up on the Fee and Keto bubble up. The last we looked was this position. No, never play F3. Always play Bishop F1. Good, good. Put it in H. Everybody's putting it in H. He put it in H. He put it in H. He put it in H. Good, good. All right, and white has a clearly slightly better position. This move's very weakening of G5 and H4. Frankly, terrible. It's everybody's favorite player, Firouzja. Firouzja with the most equal of positions against Wei Yi. Everybody trade all the pieces tonight. All right, they traded everything. And the engine says equal. Pawn structure is the same. Nice rook. Queen is a little suspicious. And the engine says it's equal. Black will play knight f6, defending his d-pawn. Firouzja has a big time advantage. Yay, 1,000 bits. Thank you. And this is very interesting. The engine says Aronian's not doing well. It says his play is erroneous. Now, normally I'm kidding, but the engine says rook d5 is the winning move. And the idea is the queen's defending g5, so then it's not. Rook d5, white's winning. Other moves also win, like e5, with the same idea. This king is no good. How did his king get in such a bad position? Artsemeyev did play the winning move, rook d5. So they had this sort of boring hedgehog kind of position. Not too interesting. Equal. Engine says equal. Thanks for the, the donations. Ooh, a5, giving up the b5 square. God damn. Engine doesn't like that. Now it doesn't care. Man, he tripled up on the bubble up. Gotta like that. All right. And then Levon had all he could stands. He can't stands no more. Now, if you're under 18, don't look at this move. Go away. I don't want to get in trouble with the authorities. Levon played g5. God damn. Wow. All right. Jesus Christ. Okay, so black was slightly worse, but g5 is like, that's crazy. This king's here, what are you doing? Okay, so the engine says every move wins. f5 wins, taking wins. He chose one of the winning moves. Now, if I was black, it's 1,000,000% I'm taking with the queen. You got to hope the guy trades queens. He won't trade queens, but you got to hope. And he took with the pawn. So, what's he doing? Yeah. So g5 was insane. Now e5 wins, rook d5 wins. Rook d5 is more incisive and crazier. So Artsemeyev played that. He was incisive and crazy before you were born. Man, this JD guy is giving subs and more subs and bits and level 5. All right. So if you take with the pawn, queen takes g5 check, and the truth hurts. There's a big mating attack with the queen and rook, take with the e-pawn, and so he took with the bishop. That's the engine move. Still losing. And then taking the bishop either way wins, but for some reason c takes wins more. I would assume this is the better move, but the engine said this is much better. Not sure why that's much better. And then you sacrifice the exchange. These rooks are useless, and the black king is more useless. Passed pawn. The king is ridiculous. So the engine says white is +6. But this is +3. This is +6. And obviously the rooks are terrible. The king is terrible. This is the best rook ever. This is a passed pawn. Completely winning for white. Totally winning. Unlimited rice pudding gifted a sub. Hey, we're doing well on the train this time. All right, this is completely equal, it says. Man, black played knight h8. I like that. Look what Ifan did. Yifan had this position, and she decided to do this. Bam! Good knight maneuver. Knight h8, as in Feingold Anand, 86. So black's not better, but that was a really cool maneuver, using the h8 square to get to g6. Now Yifan's going to defend her d-pawn, and then she's ready to go. Let's see. What's he saying? Clicking today? Oh, I see today. All right, I'll try that for round 2, trying to learn. Yeah, I see something that says today. I've never seen that before. All right, I'll try that later. Although trying is the first step to failure. But I'll try it anyway. Okay, white's better here. Black has 2 isolated pawns. Man, Gorich is pretty good. She's like 19 years old. She's pretty good. Okay, it's the game you've all been waiting for. The boring draw. The game you've been waiting for. Anand versus Naka. And this is the last position we saw. They traded everything. Now, if white wants to win, he has to play e4 at some point. If they trade these pawns, then it's going to be a draw. And unfortunately for the spectators, that's exactly what they did. They traded the pawns. All right. The engine says white's better, but I don't think Hikaru's going to lose this with black. All right, so white is better. White can double up on the bubble up. The problem is he doesn't have any back rank protection. So after he goes here and black plays here, black's threatening rook b1. So this is most likely a draw, but Anand is better, obviously, with his rooks on the 7th. And obviously he's 5 minutes down on the clock. So, it's a true result game. Anand wins or draws. A draw is the most likely, but he could win. Most likely a draw, but better for Anand. Anand with a big time advantage. Yeah, Anand is playing pretty well for 1,800. We better investigate that account. 17 subs, 3,000 bits. Good. 700 viewers. I still haven't heard dun da da da, my favorite noise. All right, this looks incredibly boring. And let's go back. This is this Wang Hao? Yeah, Wang Hao versus Radjabov. He took with the he takes with the rook, then b4. All right, so he took with the pawn. Everybody trades everything. And the engine says rook a6. That's what he played, and it says this is equal. All zeros every move. All right, so it looks like it's heading for a draw. And this is Zatonsky versus Humpy. Zatonsky has more time. That's just as important as having a good position, especially in this time control. So black's slightly better because this knight's really stupid, and black got rid of her doubled pawns, but the knight's going to come back. Maybe. All right, so tiny little better for black, but white has 2 extra minutes. So good compensation. Yeah. Which team is the favorite? I think the U.S. has the best men, but probably the worst women. So, not the U.S. Probably China's the favorite. They have Ding on board 1, Wang Hao, Yu Yangyi, Wei Yi, I think, and then they have 2 fantastic women. So, probably China's the favorite. A lot of the teams, the men are between 2740 and 2840. They're all about the same. So if you have one team that has women who are 2550, 2600, and the other women are 2350, 2400, that team is the favorite. So, obviously, Humpy Cadero is very good. So, but I don't think India's boards 2 and 3 are as good as the other boards 2 and 3. Frankly, I don't think Anand is as good as the other board ones. So India has sort of an averages team. I guess I'd pick China if I had to. Russia has good women also. It's 25 minute and there's not a lot of games per round. Also, I have no idea how they're scoring this. For example, if your team wins 2.5, 1.5, does that mean you win? Or are you just trying to get board points? At the end of the tournament, are they going to say, you got 3 points, you got 3.5, you got 2? Or are they going to say you won the first match, you won the second match? I don't know what the scoring is. And the Chess Olympiad, they've changed the scoring. They've done game points, they've done match points. So I don't know. The answer is also fries. So yeah, China's looking good. All these teams are pretty good. The rest of the world team, that's not the best team. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the rest of the world team. So I think the rest of the world team's going to come in last. Boo, boo. And then probably India come in 5th. So yeah, India 5th and rest of the world 6th. The other top 4 in any possible, yeah. Who is Humpy Canero is correct. All right, the engine says it's all zeros. Everybody's retreating. It's time to play like Ben Feingold. Will Zatonsky stop the attempted mate with Bishop F1, retreating even more? Now, Zatonsky, to be fair, is playing really well for 1600. You got to give her kudos. Pretty good. All right, the engine says White has a big advantage in MVL's game, and when I left, it said he was much worse. So what happened? Nepomniachtchi must have messed up. Bishop G5, here. H6 is fine. Bishop F6 is fine. Bishop F6 is fine. Knight G3 is fine. Bishop G5 is... All these moves are good. These guys are the best. Okay, now Black made a move the engine doesn't like. It says, boo, boo. For some reason, the best move is Queen D8, which I would never consider. What? Oh, after Queen D8, if he plays H3, I guess you play Bishop F4 and Queen H4. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. Okay, he played Bishop H4. The engine doesn't like that because of Pietro's suggestion of winning the bishop. Yeah, and it says White's doing great now. So Black has the 2 bishops, but White's taking them. So the truth hurts. All right, engine approved. And it doesn't like taking because of F4, although it says that White's better there too. But he just took on F5. And they traded. And he sacked his queen. Good queen sack. Gets his queen back. Now he's attacking this and this. Very tactical. All right, and White's up a pawn. And all these pawns are weak. This pawn's pretty strong. This king's really safe. So White has excellent winning chances. Excellent. White's just taking all those pawns. All right, White has a lot of extra pawns. God damn. 3 extra pawns. And Black wants to take this one and take this one. And these pawns are doubled and these pawns are doubled and the king's no good. So good drawing chances for Black. Good winning chances for White. 50-50. So, yeah. And then big advantage to Fabi and big time advantage to Fabi. Really big time advantage to Fabi. This is the last position we saw. And there's a knife on F5. And then he said, oh, give me the knight. 2 knight. And he said, I got 2 knights, 1 for each of you. Knight G6, trading everything. No knife F4 allowed. White has the 2 bishops, what else? All right, excellent position for White. 2 bishops for nothing. Defended his H-pawn with his bishop. All right, excellent position for White. 2 bishops. Space advantage on the queen's side. An extra 15 minutes on the clock. Outplaying his opponent. Getting more space. Vidit's trying to trade all the pawns off on both sides of the board. Always trade all the pawns off. King E8, setting up for the next game. He was in Wang Chung. His pieces are on perfect positions. He doesn't want to move those pieces. So he moved his king. Engine approved. So white is clearly slightly better. And with that monster time advantage, you would assume he'll find a way to win somehow. Somehow. So he's up like 0.3, 0.4, 15-minute time advantage, 100 rating points higher, stacks paper to the ceiling, rides on 24-inch chrome. All right, so a very good position for Fabi. Good drawing chances for Vidit. And white's completely winning here. Bassem Amin's getting totally rolled. Getting rolled. Okay, so this game's almost over. Knight A4 defending his pawn. F4 attacking down the F file. Good. Bishop G4 is a bad move. This is really, really bad what Amin did. I mean, that's terrible. He's giving up the D7 square. He's giving up the two bishops. Yeah, that was really bad. Yeah, bishop here is really bad. God damn. Also, look at the time, if you will. Yu Yangyi, 1,000,000 minutes. Amin, 1 minute. Goddamn, bishop takes E5. I said goddamn. The engine actually likes these moves better. Bishop takes E5 is a funny move. Notice everything is pinned. So it's completely winning, but it's a funny move. It looked like E5 was pretty well protected. I guess you the man. All right, and this is completely resignable. B4, knight D5. The bishop is ineffective. My rook is great. White has an extra pawn. This pawn is hanging. King is no good. Rook on the 7th. All right, so completely winning for white. So Yu Yangyi is going to win against Bassem Amin. And this position should be a draw. All right. Yeah, this is where Dominguez played the brilliant knight D5, equalizing the game. Queen A8, threatening the bishop, the A pawn, and the G pawn. Genius. Great move. And the engine says all zeros, completely equal. Great defense by Dominguez. All right, here obviously black is completely lost. I got 2 connected pass pawns. And this pawn is ridiculously strong. So Andrei can really mess this game up. His position was fine. He got totally outplayed. God damn. BC4, bishop C4. Damn, he hung his queen side. Losing his queen side. All right, and white's completely winning, and white has a lot more time. Very good game from Duda. This game was completely equal the last time we looked, and the engine says it's slightly better for white. Just slightly. Slightly better for white. Rook E5, the knight has C5, the rook has C5. Should be a draw. Slightly better for white. The only winning attempt is bishop G4, which I find a strange move since it runs into F5 and H5, but the engine says white's better. It's the only move that gives white any advantage at all. Probably a draw. Now, Firouzja does have 5 minutes to 2, so yeah, exactly. All right, what's going on here? Where'd Levon's pieces go? Where'd they go? Levon's pieces disappeared. This was the Rook D5 game. CD, that is correct. E5, that is correct. Wow, what a great move. And he has to give up his queen. All right. Bishop takes D5 is annoying. All right. And the engine says every move wins. I would play H4 because I want a queen, and I want to play King H3 and unpin my bishop. The engine says H4, king here and king here equally good. I would move my king back because he could check me. I want my king on H3. All right. And the engine says white's +8. This pawn's hanging, this pawn, this, H pawn, queen and bishop for 2 rooks. So Levon's going to lose. Even though Artsemeyev only has a minute left, plenty of time when you're +8. He'll play king H3, and then the truth hurts. Okay, so Levon's going down. This position's about equal. This position is equal. This was Anand and Hikaru drew. I'll show you the last position we looked at. They made a lot of moves. Okay, so the last position we looked at was this one. The engine doesn't like the passive move that Anand played, Rook C2. Doesn't like that, likes A5. And this is already equal. So Anand had to double up on the bubble up to try to win, but he just played too passively. It actually doesn't like the move Rook F5. What does it like? Rook F8. Oh, it doesn't like G6. G6 is a bad move. It wants him to play B6 because this move is forking the two pawns. So G6 is a mistake according to the engine. Now white's better again. But Hikaru didn't care. He said he could draw this in his sleep. And he did. His rooks are too active. Obviously better for white. All right, the engine doesn't like this move because it allows Rook A3. It doesn't like it. Probably a draw anyway. And yeah, white can't do anything. The rooks have to stay on the pawn. So yeah, that wasn't good. Letting Hikaru get his rook behind the pawn. And then they agreed to a draw because the rooks can't move away from the pawn. So Anand was squeezing that game, but couldn't quite win. So the game ended in a draw. That's the first game to end. This game ended in a draw. Obviously, bishop opposite colors, completely drawn. So in the U.S. versus India match, 2 draws. Fabiano has a big advantage and a big time advantage. God damn. Okay, still in the draw zone for black. He's not losing, but obviously worse. And obviously his time situation is bad. And this is the 4th game. And this looks really bad for Zatonsky. Zatonsky has less time. And black has a great rook. So if I was a betting man, I would say Fabiano wins. I would say Anna loses. And the match will be 2-2. Although the engine says that Queen H5 is a mistake. And after Rook F5, white is okay. Putting the queen on the side over here, not so good. So Humpy made a mistake. She has a lot more time, though, so she's still a favorite. This game ended in a draw. This was the game where white was up 3 pawns in the endgame. But he must have lost all of his pawns. Look at this position. White's up 3 pawns here. But MVL could not win. Losing all of his pawns. Now he's only up 1 pawn. Now he's up no pawns. And draw. That was easy. Nepomniachtchi just took all the pawns. God damn. All right, so that was a draw. So we have 3 draws so far. Now here, we got a game that's not going to be a draw. We got Yu Yang-yi with 5 minutes, Bassem Amin with 13 seconds, and Bassem Amin's getting crushed. So white's going to take this, and then white's going to take this, and white's going to take everything. All right, so Yu Yang-yi's going to win. Zatonsky did play Rook F5. The engine says she's fine now. It doesn't like Queen H5, Queen G4. Now Queen F2, defending and attacking is equal. Queen F4 is equal. Now Anna's a minute behind on the clock. So, okay, this game was a draw. Radjabov against Wang Hao. Okay, that's black's move, obviously. So, okay, this is a draw. Hikaru game was a draw. This game ended in a draw. One of the Muzichuks versus Gorchkina. This was a perpetual check. Check, 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 check. Draw. Okay, well played, well played. So we have like 7 draws so far. Aronian did lose, even though his opponent had very little time left. His opponent had a lot of pieces and passed pawns. So Aronian loses to Artemayev. The first decisive result amongst the men. This is going to be the second decisive result. White's +5, and white has a huge time advantage. Huge. Huge. Now white's +7. Truth hurts. You can't play rook takes pawn because of knight f5. h5 wins, king h5 wins, king g5 wins, king f5 wins. h6 is coming, and then knight f5 check. So he has to move his rook away, then knight f5 wins. And he might resign in this position. He did not resign. Knight f5. Knight, also h6 wins. Also every legal move wins. Yay! Knight f5. Good, good. All right, Yu Yangyi is going to win. Fabiano squeeze. Ooh, Fabiano won a pawn. How did he win a pawn? He played g4. How did he win that g pawn? Oh, that's how the guy gave it away. So this engine says this is equal. The knight just has to go back here. Knight f5, and, black has good drawing chances. White's still better, king e4, but he played here, giving a pawn away. God damn. All right, well, now white's up a pawn and two bishops. Bishop c4, that is reasonable. So he wins his pawn back. That's why Vidit's so good. The engine wants to play f5. This move is okay. Knight takes. And again, it looks like a draw, but white's better, and white has 11 minutes more. So 50-50, a win or a draw. Two bishops, passed pawn, better king, Papa John's. Excellent position for white, good drawing chances. Let's recap. MVL versus Nepo was a draw. Nepomniachtchi sacrificed 300 pawns, ended up drawing the endgame. This game, black resigned a little bit late. Okay, Yu Yangyi won. Now, if Eric Rosen was black, he would have drawn because he would have got stalemated somehow. Not sure how. This game was a draw. Hare Krishna versus Dominguez. White was completely winning this game, and white is still completely winning, +8. So Duda's going to win. Firouzja was way up on the clock, and now he's behind on the clock. He was way up. And the engine says it's equal. White's up a pawn, but this is attacked, and it should be a draw. Should be. This game's over. Levon lost. The other Musichuk is playing. Black's winning this position. Black has this amazing passed pawn. Ifan is winning. Ifan has more time. Highest rated woman in the world. Ifan is going to win. Winning position, more pawns, more time on her clock. This game was a draw. Anand versus Hikaru was a draw. Hikaru was a bit fortunate. Radjabov defended well to draw. And this game, all three results will happen. The engine says Queen C1 and Rook E1 is winning. It doesn't like what white did here. This position's equal. Now white's better. And according to the engine, Rook takes is a blunder because it allows Queen check Rook E1 with the mating idea. She should have played Knight D2 to play Knight F3, and white has a big advantage because this queen is sort of trapped on the king side. Both sides have less than a minute. Instead, this move is considered a blunder by the engine. Check, King H2, Rook E1, and the engine says black's winning. G4 to get her king out. But after Rook H1 check, Queen G5, got your king caught in a little crossfire there. How you like that? Tombstone. So black's winning with Rook H1, Queen G5, just a blunder from Zatonsky. If Zatonsky played Knight D2 with the idea of then taking on D4 when the queen can't come here, then white's doing well. But she misevaluated this position. She thought her king could get out, and the engine says, no. Queen G5 winning, the only winning move. Will Humpy play it with 30 seconds on her clock, threatening Queen H4 mate? Man, that queen was no good. Now the queen and rook are mating the king. Rook takes D4 was a real blunder. And we have a result here. Andreikin lost to Duda. Duda really crushed Andreikin that game. Really crushed him. If King H7, Queen takes H5 mate. Really crushed him. And this game ended in a draw. The engine says all zeros. Both sides have less than a minute. And there's 3 games left out of the 12. Fabiano's pressing, has 9 minutes more. Black's completely winning this game. White's trying to draw, but doesn't look good with the time situation or the board situation. And the U.S.-India match has 2 games left, and she blundered. Humpy blundered. Queen G5 threatening Queen H4 mate is game over. The engine says, Queen H4 is not mate because of King F4, but it wins the Queen. Queen G5 is plus 9 for Black. Queen G5 winning. Instead, Humpy with 20 seconds played King G7. Now she stopped Queen G5 with Knight E3, and the engine says equal. All 3 results possible. Rook E1, Rook D3. The engine says Rook D3 is a blunder. She should have played Rook D2. Now Bishop E4 is strong, and it was played. You can't take the bishop because if Knight takes, winning the Queen. She played Rook C3, and this says that Black is winning now, but she played Queen A1. The engine says that's a blunder. Both sides with no time on the clock. Queen D2 is equal. She played Rook takes C7, hanging checkmate. This is the second time in the game Zatonsky moved her rook, letting the Black queen out. First it was Rook takes D4, allowing Queen C1 check. Now it's Rook takes C7, triple question mark, Queen E5 check, and the game is over. She just missed Queen E5 check. And then she resigned. She played Queen F4, and then Rook E3, and White loses all of her pieces. So a terrible blunder and time trouble from Zatonsky. First she played the losing Rook D4. She got back in the game. Then the losing Rook C7, and there was no getting back in the game. India's up 2-1. Fabiano must win to tie the match. 50-50. The engine says he's plus 1.5. Better king, 2 bishops. Passed pawns are both advanced. So good winning chances for White, some drawing chances for Vidit. I don't like Vidit's clock. E5's getting the wrap it up button. She's got the 2 passed pawns and the better king. B5 is next, and Black should win because this king is shallow and pedantic. I agree, shallow and pedantic. Yeah, Zatonsky's game was real back and forth. That had almost as many blunders as the Rosen-Feingold match, but, not quite. B5 is completely winning. B6 is okay. B5 is good because then the rook defends the A7 pawn. This king is no good. Boo. 2 connected passed pawns. Time is getting close. She played Rook B2. Not as good as B5, but still winning. And Fabiano's hasn't moved yet. He has a huge time advantage. Huge. And we're already on move 70. Fabiano trying to grind out the victory. He can move his bishop back, move his king back. He can give him a check. Every move gives White a huge advantage. The 2 bishops are much better than the bishop and knight. The white king is better than the black king. And if the pawn advances, there's actually checkmating ideas. The king could get in trouble here. Vidit has a tough task, a very bad position, very bad clock situation. Knight D7, that is correct. Bishop C3, that is correct. Now he should play Bishop E7, blocking this pawn. The time situation is not good, but he's playing well. Vidit made several good moves in a row. It doesn't like Fabi's F5. It likes this, reconnoitering of the pieces here. So good drawing chances for Black, but the time situation's not good. And Black is winning here, although her technique could be better. Both sides have a minute left, so. King H7, double X. Rook G6 is a blunder, according to the computer. The H-pawn doesn't matter. A4, A3, A2, A1. Rook G6, Rook G5 was terrible. You don't want the rook here when this pawn is queening. That's a really bad square for your rook. Not good for stopping this pawn. So rook here was a blunder. A4 and the game is over. And she will play A4. I guarantee it. There you go. Now, she was hoping for the blunder here, which most of you guys would make. King G7, F6 check. No, and white wins. God damn. But she didn't fall for that. So now black wins. And the game's over. Rawr, rawr. All right, Ifan wins. Go Ifan. Rawr, etc. For some reason, it's in a weird color, but I didn't do anything. All right. So after rook takes g4, Ifan correctly played rook a5. That is correct. And now this is annoying. And if the rook goes to a1, I got 2 pawns, 1 for each of you. A here, and then here comes the b pawn. The king is too slow. Boo. Only 1 square at a time. All right, here comes rawr, etc. 5 passed pawns. The crowd has rights. You have the right to see 5 passed pawns. There's going to be about a 25-minute break between this round and the next round. Kasparov is the team captain. He's not playing. He's just getting a paycheck for doing nothing. Kasparov isn't playing in this event. All right, here comes a2, and Ifan is calculating whether the king gets there in time. It does not. So here's how the game is going to end. And the truth hurts. Yeah. So that game, as Lenny Kravitz would say, is over. All right. And that's what happened. A2, B5. Muzychuk knows that this is too slow, that this is too fast. The truth hurts. She's trying to get counterplay. Rawr. Okay, frankly, ridiculous. Yeah, this is, you got no hope. God damn. All right, so Ifan wins. Let's look at what's happening in Fabi's game. This is the 50-50 game. This is the last position we saw. Bishop e2 is the engine move. Take that pawn. Knight c5 is the engine move. King e5 is the engine move. Knight a6 is the engine move. These guys play pretty good. Bishop c4. Knight c5. Bishop d2. Got to watch it. 28 seconds left. No, no. Better king. Papa John's. All right, great defense by Vidit. God damn. Great defense. The engine says he should draw now, even though he has 28 seconds left, and white has the 2 bishops. If Vidit holds this, India beats the U.S. 2.5, 1.5. If Vidit can hold. The engine says he's going to hold. It says everything he did was right, even with no time on his clock. Every move he makes is perfect or better than perfect. It says a5 is a draw. Bishop takes a5, king g5. He played knight d7. Now white's better again, but it should be a draw. This has to be a draw. This pawn's blocked by 3 pieces. Come on. Come on. 3 pieces are blocking this pawn. Come on. How can he win? I mean, 38 seconds to 6 minutes. All right. And then white resigned because the truth hurts. All right, so this is the last game of the round. If Fabiano wins, it's a tie match. If Fabiano draws or loses, India wins. The other matches, I have no idea what happened. I don't know who won the match. I don't know how they score the matches. If winning 2.5, 1.5 means that you win. Some people said if you win the match, you get 2. Tie the match 1, lose 0, which means the game points don't matter as much. 4-0 and 2.5, 1.5 are the same thing, except for tie breaks, obviously. China won. Yeah, China's the team I predicted would win the event. And I thought the rest of the world would come in last. That was my prediction. All right. But, there's only 6 teams. So, all right, bishop d2, king here. Always play bishop f1. Ooh, bishop f1. Still 50-50, Fabi wins. If engines are playing, it's a draw. But white's better, and black has 20 seconds. And Fabi's 2,800. So, it's, good winning chances for white. Very good. Somehow, Vidit ran his king away from the passed pawn. Very suspicious. This is still 50-50 that he wins. The fate of this game, this match, the world, the whole universe depends on this game. Russia-Europe draw, and the rest of the world lost to China, and this is the U.S. versus India. If Fabiano wins, it's 2-2. If it's a draw or Vidit wins, India wins the match. The engine says white very close to winning here. Man, 17 seconds. God damn. Now, if it gets to two bishops versus a knight, sometimes that's a draw, sometimes that's a win. Practically, it's always a win. He'll definitely win that, especially with the time situation. Two bishops against a bishop, that's a dead draw. So black wants to sacrifice his knight for the pawn, then it's a dead draw. If he sacrifices his bishop for the pawn, the two bishops are going to beat the knight, practically speaking. And both players know that. They know what's going on. Normally, when one side is slightly or clearly worse, and you see these clock situations, that side loses. Okay, now white's winning. Yeah, now it's a win. Yeah. He did this on purpose, too. Even if this is a draw, he's not going to draw it. You can't draw this. If it's a draw, you have to play perfect every move. It's too hard. It's much easier playing with the bishops. Much easier. So there's no way he's going to hold this. It's too easy to blunder and lose. Very easy. Now, if you go to the table bases online, or your engine has table bases, it will announce mate here, or it'll say it's a draw in this position. This is 6 pieces or less, so it already knows the answer. There's another round today. It starts in 24 minutes. This game's going to go 130 moves, which was unexpected, so the next round's going to start pretty quickly. Normally, there would be a 20 to 30 minute between rounds, but since this game's never going to end, we're going to start pretty quickly. That doesn't hang a piece, by the way, because the king here, just so you know. The two bishops versus knight mate is you win the knight, then you mate with two bishops. That's how you do it. Now, Fabi's not taking the pawn because as soon as he takes the pawn, the 50 move rule starts. So he's waiting to take the pawn so that the 50 move rule doesn't start. And then their guys like, take my pawn so the 50 move rule starts. See? These guys, they're smart. They know what they're doing. This is move 100, bishop d4. Now, whether this is a win or a draw with perfect play, white is going to win.